As parents, we are our children's advocate. We are their voice, we are their protector, and I truly believe that it is our duty to them to make sure that we are aware and we stay informed of things that go on within the school system, and that we educate ourselves and know our rights when it comes to our children's health care. So obviously something happened to us. That's the purpose of this vlog. It really just made me realize that the decision that the doctor makes is not always the best decision. It may be a right decision, but it's not the best decision. I feel had we been more included in her care, that this probably wouldn't have happened. Which leads me to talk about the Speak Up campaign that was initiated by the Joint Commission. I'll talk about that more at the end. But anyway, so do you ever go to the doctor and voice your concerns and think that, well, they didn't even listen to me? You leave, you go about your day. Most times I'm just like, well, I'll just get over it. You know, it is what it is. But for some reason, when it comes to my kids, I don't ever do good with that. Like if I have a concern about my child and it's not taken seriously, I tend to get very defensive. Now, I'm not going to say that I am not guilty, because I am, of my child getting a symptom, me getting on Google, and of course Google MD tells you that, you know, this is what's wrong with your kid. And then of course I freak out. Haul my kid off to the doctor, do the test, kid's fine, I sleep better that night. I'm guilty of that. But this situation was different. A while ago, Addie got an ear infection and she ended up rupturing her eardrum. We of course carried her off to our primary care doctor, and they were great. They gave her antibiotics, they gave her ear drops, and we followed up with them. Everything was healing nicely. And if we had any problems, they said just to come back. So we ended up coming back, but it was for our school physical, and they ended up seeing the hole again, saying that obviously it didn't heal up. So they referred us to an ENT. You know how when like you walk in somewhere, you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it? Well, I just like something was off. I didn't know what. I was like, well, whatever. So we get back, and of course the doctor comes in. And let me say this, if you are working with children, you have to gain their trust. You cannot, like, first off, the kid just heard she has a hole in her ear again. So in her mind, she's thinking it's a hole in her head. And so she's freaking out. And then here comes a doctor who just comes in. He's significantly bigger than her, so therefore he's standing over her. So again, she's feeling very, you know, defenseless, and just basically just picks up his tools and starts working. Like, doesn't explain to her what he's doing. But then when she starts crying, I of course get up and I go and hold her hand, and he stops and says that nothing he is doing is hurting her, and that she needs to calm down because he has to look at her ear. Now, I'm fine with that. You have to do your job. You're exactly right. You have to look at her ear. However, it should have been done completely different. So right there off the bat, like, I'm already irritated. He gives us eardrops again. We get them filled, we go home, we start the eardrops. I'd say probably within about 5 seconds, we put the eardrops in her ear, and she starts screaming. And she's crying, saying that they're burning her ears, and all I can do is get cotton and just shove it into her ear, trying to get the fluid out of her ear. So the next day comes, and I tell her, I'm like, listen, we have to do these eardrops. This is what he said is gonna heal your ear. Like, we have to do these eardrops. Like, I understand, but we have to do them. So I do the eardrops again, and lo and behold, it does it again. Same thing. I'm like, oh my goodness. We do this for a week, a whole week. I finally say, enough is enough. I'm calling the doctor, and we'll go from there. So I call the doctor, leave a message, and I get a call back, and of course they say that the doctor said this is the best drops for her ear. This is what's going to heal her ear. You have to do them because that's what's going to help her ear. Okay. So at that moment, I realized that we're just not doing the drops anymore. We'll go back to the follow-up appointment. We'll see how it is then, and then we'll see what he wants to do after that. We go for our follow-up appointment like a couple months later, and of course the hole is still there. And he tells me that we're just gonna monitor it for about 6 months to a year. Continue the drops. Now, I'm literally thinking, I'm not doing these drops. Like, no, like, we can't do the drops. Again, bring it up. Well, that's what's gonna heal the ear. And so finally I'm just like, okay, that's fine, just get us out of this office. So as we're leaving, of course, he reminds us, because it's, you know, like still, we could still swim outside. He tells us that to make sure she doesn't submerge her head into fresh water or like standstill warm water like the lake water, obviously because of bacteria. So I'm like, okay, so she is at risk for getting an infection if she puts her head under fresh water or standstill water. I mean, even it could happen in your own bathtub. But yes, let's just wait another 6 months to a year and let's hope she doesn't get an infection. So I leave. I'm so mad. I call our primary care doctor. I let them know what's going on, and they get us another referral, which leads us to today. We go to the new ENT. He is amazing. His office is amazing. The nurses are amazing. The audiologist was amazing. And of course, we learned that Addie has some hearing loss in her right ear. You know, they can't pinpoint exactly when the hearing loss occurred, so you know, we don't really know at what point it happened. But what I do know is that had we waited 6 more months or another year, the hearing loss would have been greater. Right there tells me that the decision I made was the right decision. The decision he made was not the right decision. He wanted to wait 6 more months to a year. Did he check her hearing at that time? No, he did not. So therefore, how did he know what damage had occurred? He didn't, because he didn't investigate into it. Thankfully, with the new ENT, got her hearing test. He saw there was a difference. He looked in her ear. He was super nice. You know, she started to cry. You know, he was on her level, talking to her, you know, just trying to, you know, really make sure she felt comfortable. And that right there is what matters the most. You build trust with your patient, and they feel they can trust you with their care. If you cannot trust the person that is providing care to you, you need to find a new doctor, because your life is in their hands and they're the ones that is driving the bus. They're the ones with the signature that gets you the test you need, gets you the medicine you need, gets you the surgeries you need. They are the one that makes the final decision. So if you do not trust them, you need to find a new doctor. We are having surgery on the 29th. What they're gonna do is they're basically going to cut behind her ear. They're gonna remove some skin, like kind of do like a small skin graft, and then they're gonna place that over her eardrum. And then we're gonna see if it heals up. If it doesn't heal up, we have a plan in action. She'll probably go to Vanderbilt, or she'll go to Louisville and see another specialist, and then we'll kind of just go from there. So we're very happy with the outcome. We're ready for this to be behind us. I feel like we've been dealing with this forever. But now I want to talk about the Speak Up campaign. So again, this was initiated by the Joint Commission, and what this is a campaign to get people involved in their healthcare. So the Joint Commission, basically, they are the ones that go into the hospitals and make sure the hospitals are doing things the way they're supposed to be doing, that safety measures are the way that they're supposed to be, that the hospital is safe to have patients. The Speak Up campaign was initiated, again, to get patients involved in their care. So speaking up about, if your doctor comes in and says a bunch of stuff, or says we're gonna do this, you know, we're gonna monitor this, whatever, and walks out the door and you don't understand, speak up. Tell the nurse. The nurse will get the doctor back in there, or she should, and it needs to be explained better. You know, it's educating yourself on the illness. You know, I've done tons of research now about Addie and her ear. You know, just that way I know, like, if I research something, I can ask questions whenever I go in. That way I can feel more informed about what's going on. Or let's say, you know, when you go to the doctor and they're like, I'm gonna prescribe you this medication. Well, why? You know, do I really need this? Is there something else I could do? You know, if it's high blood pressure, is there something I could do, like maybe like changing my diet or exercising? You know, knowing the why, you know, again, speaking up, asking why. It is so important to ask questions. Medicine has changed so much, healthcare has changed so much. Back in the day, people just listened to their doctor and they went about their day. I feel it is so important to ask questions and understand truly what is going on when it comes to either your healthcare, your parents' healthcare, your kids' healthcare, anyone that you love's healthcare that you're involved in. It is so important to ask questions if you don't understand. So this is my soapbox for the day. Like I said, we're having surgery on the 29th. We're very happy. We're ready for this to be over and done, and she is so excited to never have to have her ear looked at again. So, well, if it heals up. But anyways, I hope you guys found this video informative. I'm gonna drop a link below in the description that goes to the Joint Commission talking about the Speak Up campaign. It covers tons of topics and areas that you know that brings awareness, like things you should know, things that you should look for. And I will, like I said, put that below. If you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. And if you know anyone that could use this video, make sure you share it with them. And it's been such a long day. Like, my mind is just, I'm ready for bed. See you next time. Bye.